So many questions have risen from our last video, one of which is, does Nigeria have an air defense system? With the presence of foreign military bases across Nigeria's periphery, mostly French and American, and its attendant complement of unmanned aircraft system, fixed and rotary wing strike aircraft, it is imperative for Nigeria to drop its defense approach to defense and bolster her short-range air defense assets. For starters, Nigeria's air defense system is a joke, an embarrassment by virtue of the size of our economy and incessant security threats. In a hypothetical war scenario against an enemy with a modest amount of fourth-generation fighter jets, the skies over Nigeria will be largely uncontested. A free-for-all for the simple reasons that Africa's richest country, first trillion-dollar economy, does not have an effective air defense system to protect her airspace from enemy aircraft. Given this gap in air defense, one would think that Nigeria will acquire fast interceptor jet to plug the gap. The Nigerian Air Force did acquire interceptor jet, however, the 15 vintage Chinese-made F-7 Chengdu jet cannot match the likes of an F-16. A very important question the world is asking is, how did Nigeria go from fielding a squadron of 4th generation Jaguars in the mid-80s to flying Chinese 3rd generation F-7 Chengdu Air Guard, an aircraft that has killed more Nigerian pilots than enemy fire? As it stands, Nigeria lacks a decent air defense system. The few assets in existence can at best provide modest defense against low-flying aircraft and helicopters. In the early 90s, in an act of protest against the decision of France to sell a Roland anti-aircraft missiles to Nigeria, a nightmare of the Chadian army, N'Djamena made overtures to Washington for advanced heat-seeking missiles. The United States agreed to supply Chad with 34 Stinger heat-seeking missiles and sent a team of American technicians to N'Djamena to help train them on how to use it, making Chad the first African country to receive these sophisticated shoulder-fire anti-aircraft missiles. At that time, France had earlier turned down Chad's request for the Roland anti-aircraft missile system, citing the lack of expertise and infrastructure on the part of the Chadians to manage such systems. Also faced with economic problems, the idea of sending French technicians as unpaid mercenaries to help the Chadians was out of the question. Nigeria, on the other hand, at the time had the technical expertise to operate such systems and the financial whereabouts to acquire them in large quantities. At the time, the overtures by Chad to the US was meant to send a strong signal to France that the United States is more than willing to support Chad militarily, with or without the help of Paris. Recently, in a move that seems like a step in the right direction, the Nigerian Military High Command recently acquired some old Soviet-era 36D6 NATO code-named Thin Shield Mobile Air Defense Radar for its Air Force. The air defense radar was purchased under a heavy cloak of secrecy. The Nigerian military has been known to buy equipment and weapons from platforms randomly without clear guidance or policies. However, the 36D6 Thin Shield Air Defense Radar was designed to detect air targets and perform basic low-level interrogations, friend or foe. The radar can also provide targeting, range and bearing of active jamming. It is more effective if employed to work in tandem with other radar, integrations of command and control of anti-aircraft guided missiles, a capability the Nigerian military doesn't have. The 36D6 is capable of detecting low, medium and high altitude aerial targets with radar cross-sections of as low as 0.1 meter. The Thin Shield can be integrated into the overall air defense structure as part of an anti-aircraft defense force, or independently as a land-based observation, surveillance or air detection command post, although not much is known if it can be integrated with the Nigerian-owned Roland air defense missile system. The 36D6 is a highly mobile radar system due to fast changeover from travel position to fire position and vice versa. Additionally, the station is equipped with gyro compass to provide self-orientation during transit. The radar systems itself and the power stations are mounted on 2 trucks. The radar systems can operate effectively under heavy active and passive jamming conditions. The purchase of this type of radar system is a commendable move by the Nigerian government, but ironically, the real issue remains how many units was purchased and in what condition. Does the deal include support from the manufacturer, such as training, maintenance and spare parts? The 36D6 air defense radar is a capable system, but it's a far cry from the current 21st century modern air defense, such as active phase array radar, ROASIT, or the Chinese JLP-40 surveillance radar type of radars. However, if procured in sufficient numbers, could boost the country's almost non-existent air defense posture. Currently, we are at a time when Nigeria needs to set up a think tank to study and analyze Nigeria's air defense challenges, initiate a comprehensive air defense reform program that identifies these challenges, develop a new air defense structure to address the gaps in the Nigerian air defense capabilities, establish from scratch a new air defense regiment independent from Nigeria's field artillery regiment. This new independent regiment will be responsible for protecting a vast range of strategic, military and economic assets ranging from army units in the field, air defense to Nigeria's Air Force bases and point defense for Nigeria's vast oil infrastructure. My honest opinion on DICON is that it should be shut down because DICON has been nothing but a white elephant corruption-laden cash cow, a national manufacturing corporation with millions in funding producing small arms with flak jackets is nothing but a drain on our resources. And finally, engage Nigerian universities and private sector investment in defense-related products. Nigeria's recent investment in offensive military hardware is a step in the right direction given the nature of Nigeria's security threats. However, a comprehensive look should be given to Nigeria's ability to protect its ground forces from air attack from a near-peer adversary. The hundreds of millions of dollars spent on acquiring military hardware will amount to nothing if we had no means of protecting vital assets and infrastructure from air attacks. To be candid, Nigeria's airspace is woefully unprotected to such a degree it's scary. Anti-aircraft guns should be mounted in the top of buildings in key strategic areas around Abuja. This should include at least one anti-aircraft gun hard-mounted on the roof of the plush Aso Rock Presidential Villa and another one overlooking the villa at the nearby buildings. As a matter of fact, there should be a no-flight zone 5 miles out of the center of Abuja. Radar sites should be mounted around the city to monitor and enforce these restricted flight zones around the capital, and a pair of supersonic jets sitting on standby, ready to intercept any hostile aircraft. Nigeria contains what is arguably the most valuable real estate in Africa with 40 billion barrels. Nigeria has the world's 10th largest proven oil reserve. This massive oil reserve have made Nigeria the richest country in Africa. In the event of a shooting war, each side will target the other's economic infrastructure to gain the advantage. Nigeria was brought to its knees when the Niger Delta militants attacked and disrupted production, cutting Nigeria's oil production by half, thereby forcing the federal government to set up an amnesty deal. If a bunch of ragtag militias can do this, imagine what a hostile enemy with air power can do. One would think that given this fact, no effort will be spared to defend and protect Nigeria's vast oil infrastructure. Sadly, the reverse is the case. Nigerian government officials prefer to spend more on VIP aircraft to fly VIP dignitaries than purchase defensive systems. Hopefully the government comes across this video and does the needful. Guys, do well to drop your honest comment, tell us what you think about this. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.